Can a 7-year-old girl playing an old piano make a millionaire cry? Her small fingers on worn keys. Around her, crystal chandeliers, laughter in champagne glasses, mocking looks. Alexander Gray, one of the richest men in the city, looks down at her. He just promised to adopt this orphan, but only if she can impress him. It was a joke, a cruel, cynical joke. Anna stood before the piano in the corner of the hall. Her worn shoes seemed like a stain on the marble floor. Her dress was clean, but clearly from a charity, too big for her fragile shoulders. The evening's organizers brought her here as entertainment. Exotica, a poor orphan who supposedly can play. The guests wanted to laugh, to feel their superiority. Alexander Gray leaned back in his chair, bored, twirling his glass. He was 48. Built an empire from nothing. Overcame everything. Lost everything. Human on that path. His gaze was empty, cold, like a display window of an expensive store with no soul inside. He looked at Anna and saw just another attempt to soften him up, to extract money, to evoke sympathy. But sympathy died in him long ago, along with something else, something important. He didn't even remember what exactly. Anna approached the instrument. The piano was old, the polish peeling, several keys yellowed with time. It didn't fit in this hall. Just like her, the girl sat on the bench. Her feet barely touched the floor. She looked at the keys, then at her hands, small, trembling. The conversations in the hall died down. Someone giggled. A woman in emeralds whispered something caustic to her friend. Gray leaned forward. He was waiting for failure, waiting for the girl to cry and run away. Then he would generously donate to the orphanage, photograph himself for the press, show what a philanthropist he is. All according to script, all under control. But Anna didn't cry. She closed her eyes. Her fingers touched the keys, and the hall filled with sound. It was a simple melody, very simple. A children's song that everyone knew, but in her performance it sounded different. In every note was pain, hope, loneliness, faith. Anna wasn't playing for the audience. She was playing for herself, for that one person who once told her that music is the language of the soul. It was her caretaker from the orphanage, an old woman who died 3 months ago, the only one who loved Anna. The girl played, and tears flowed down her cheeks, quietly, imperceptibly. But the music didn't falter. It flowed like a river, pure, sincere, without falsehood, without calculation. Just music, just the soul of a 7-year-old child who knew what loss means. Gray froze. Something strange was happening in his chest, something unpleasant. He wanted to stand up, to leave, but couldn't. The melody held him, pulled him somewhere deep inside, to a place he hadn't looked for 20 years, maybe 30. He suddenly remembered himself as a boy, 10 years old. School concert. He played violin, played well. His mother was so proud. She sat in the first row, smiling. But his father didn't come. His father said music was for weaklings, for losers. Real men make money. Don't waste time on such nonsense. After the concert, Alexander hid the violin, never played again. Became what his father wanted to see. Hard, successful, rich, empty. Anna finished the first part, moved to the second. The melody became deeper, sadder. Something ancient sounded in it, something every human heart knows. Longing for home, for love, for someone to hug you and say, everything will be okay. Gray felt something breaking inside, a crack, small, painful. He clenched his fists. No. Can't show weakness. Can't feel. Feelings are a luxury. Feelings make you vulnerable. He built walls, high, impenetrable. He hid behind them his whole life. But the music penetrated through stone, through ice, through years of cynicism and calculation. It found what he thought was dead and awakened it. Painfully, agonizingly, unbearably. He remembered his mother, how she was dying in the hospital, how he didn't arrive in time. Because there was an important deal. Because he couldn't show weakness. Because money was more important. Always more important. He didn't cry at her funeral, stood at the grave with a stone face, accepted condolences, thought about contracts. Have you ever felt such pain? When you realize you've lost yourself? That you've become a monster in an expensive suit? Anna played on. Her small shoulders shuddered. She put everything into the music. Her entire short life, all the nights she cried into her pillow, all the days she pretended to be strong, all the hope that someday someone would take her, love her, say that she's needed. Gray stood up, stepped toward the piano, stopped. The guests looked at him. He saw their faces, curiosity, mockery, expectation. What will he do? How will the great Alexander Gray act? Chase the girl away? Throw some bills? He looked at Anna, at her profile, at the tears on her cheeks, at hands that trembled but kept playing, and suddenly understood this wasn't her playing for him. This was him listening for himself, for that boy inside who once believed in beauty, in art, in the idea that life is more than money. Melody reached its climax. Anna played forte. Her fingers flew across the keys. Music filled the hall. It was enormous, bigger than the child at the instrument, bigger than the mockery, bigger than the wealth around. It was truth, pure, merciless, blinding. And Gray broke. Tears poured from his eyes, the first in 30 years. He didn't hold them back, couldn't, didn't want to. They flowed down his face, hot, salty, liberating. He cried, in front of everyone, in front of cameras, in front of those who tomorrow would spread this all over the city. And he didn't care, because he was feeling, again, finally, after so many years of cold. Anna finished. The last chord hung in the air, faded. She opened her eyes, looked at Gray, saw his tears. Her face changed, fear disappeared. Instead, something else appeared. Understanding. Connection. She recognized him, recognized someone just as lonely, just as lost. Gray approached the piano, dropped to his knees beside her. The hall froze. No one breathed. He reached out his hand, touched her small palm. Now I know what true wealth is. Anna looked at him with wide-open eyes. In them was hope, pure, silent, enormous. Gray smiled, for the first time in many years, sincerely. He hugged her tightly, the way you hug the most precious thing. She pressed against him, small, trembling, trusting. And in that moment, something changed, forever, for both of them. The light from the crystal chandeliers illuminated them. The millionaire and the orphan. The father and daughter. Two souls united through music, pain, and sincerity. Have you ever embraced the possibility of a miracle? Opened your heart completely, unafraid of the risk that it might break? Anna and Alexander did this, and the world around them became different, warmer, brighter.